Guys, Danny Shade Show. I got a special treat for you today. I know we focus on Perry, Oklahoma a lot, but today we're broadening our reach a little bit. I have a friend of mine, Shawna Myers, who is running for Osage County Treasurer. And she wanted to come on the show and just kind of tell you really why she would be awesome for the job as Osage County Treasurer. And we're going to get to know her a little bit. And so without further ado, Shawna.
Well, like you said, my name is Shawna Myers. I am running for Osage County Treasurer, and I just want to start out with thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited about this, but I will note, very nervous. So I'm very happy to be here. So thank you very much, and I'm ready to get this conversation going.
Well, we love it. Don't be nervous. Everybody here is just here to learn a little bit more about you and kind of find out some of the key points about, why you think you'd be a good fit for the job and kind of maybe some direction that you plan on taking the county in that position. But first, the most important stuff is let's learn a little bit about Shawna. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, why don't we just start out there and say that I'm 42 years old. Let's give my whole background. No, I'm just kidding. I am married. I've been married to my husband almost 18 years. I have a 22-year-old, almost 22-year-old, and a 13-year-old going on 21, like they all are, likes to shop, listen to music, and ignore her parents. But I have wonderful kids. They're really so much fun. I live in Osage County, of course. We just built a property there, our house, a couple years ago it was the original allotted land that was given this to our family from the Osage when they were giving out the land, because I'm Osage. I'm a member of the tribe, the name.
Oh, wow.
Nation.
So you have a homestead from way back.
Well, yeah, we don't
or
have
the land, I guess.
The land, but it's been broken up and sold and come on back a couple different times, of course. But my grandma was trying to piece it all back together. So now we're actually kind of getting that little compound going. My grandpa's there, another grandma, and us, and then my cousins just built a house too, and we're all together, and it's been great.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So running for treasurer. Why would you want that job?
Yeah, I get that a lot, actually. It's years like
that sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, actually, what I get is that sounds so boring. Why would you want to do that? But
are you a numbers person?
Yes, and so what I've done for a living, I'll just kind of go into that first. Is actually was in healthcare for 22 years. But don't let that fool you. Actually, I had my own business where I was a medical coder. I was a certified professional coder is what I did, but billing, and I worked on the corporate side, not in the hospital side, on that part of my life. And so I worked with numbers, large numbers. I worked with some of the hardest, most intense states in the country where you get audited every year, and they make sure if you don't get a certain standard, you're cut from your job.
Oh, wow. So there's not a lot of room for failure.
There's not. And so I always had very high scores for my audit numbers, and what I did was I have to make sure that everything lined up. Numbers was paid correctly. If the doctors were coding correctly, I had to read lots of paperwork and laws. Of course, people don't think about it, but we in healthcare, you have to worry about laws and all kinds of formats. So I did that. And so when I felt that there was a need for what I'm doing now as treasurer, it just seems like a nice transition for me to get in there and be able to help the county.
Very cool.
Yeah, very excited.
So what are some of the things, I guess, that, I know you have a background in the medical field, and then you're obviously task driven, and you're obviously focused on making sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, which is, when you're dealing with the county's money, that's very important. What are some of the challenges that you see kind of ahead that you're wanting to kind of tackle, and maybe get into how you might do that it's going to benefit the people that are going to vote for you?
Okay. The way my brain works is it's just a little different. If I see a process that I think I can improve on, that's what I would like to do. I haven't actually been in our county treasurer's office in there, but I have been in multiple counties across the state. I know treasurers that have been letting me go in there behind the scenes and see how they do things.
Oh, so you've been proactive about this. You're not just I think I could do that job and I'm just going to give it a shot. You've been going around and trying to kind of look and see what it's going to entail, so you kind of have a little bit of a head start.
That's correct. And
Okay.
I'm kind of a bit of a dork like that. I like to be prepared and not walk into something that I'm not sure of. Even when I was 18 and 19 going into healthcare, before I went into healthcare, I actually did 2 weeks of asking a bunch of people that I knew in healthcare to teach me how to do blood pressures and do all of those things that was going to be my job, because I didn't want to walk in there completely green and not know what was going on.
Yeah.
I don't like to have those kind of surprises, even though I know those come up. But if I can be the best prepared that I can be, I want to do that. And so with the treasurers, I've actually accredited, full accreditation with OSU. They have a county training program. Before I even started working for the county, I started taking these classes because I wanted to have a better understanding of what county government did and how it works for the people, and making sure maybe that everybody's doing it correctly. And so I got in there, and
That's the auditor in you.
And there you go. I like to explain things to people as well and make sure that they understand, because transparency is great and we all want transparency. That is what our goal is. But if you don't understand the processes, you don't know what to ask for, you don't know what's going on. And so the way I can educate people, that just kind of makes it a full circle to me, is where I can educate and then move forward. But absolutely, I love to be prepared. So I actually have the accreditation for the treasurer's office, and then I also have the one for the commissioners as well, because my thought on that is, when you go into office and your position actually affects every office, so the treasurer touches the commissioners, it touches the court clerk, it touches everybody. You need to have understanding what everybody does, so you can properly help everybody.
Okay. I will tell you about the office that you have. I tell people all the time, whenever you're dealing with money, transparency is always the answer.
Yes.
Because if you ever want to find out how people truly are, mess with their money.
Yes.
Because everybody can be the sweetest little lady in the world, but if you are doing something nefarious with their money and they don't understand, you're going to find out real quick they're not a big fan of that.
That's right.
So I love the transparency aspect of it. I think more county positions and government positions in general should be a little bit more open. And I think it would take some of the bite and some of the scare out of it. And I think people would probably have a little easier time.
I agree.
I work with a lot of county commissioners, and I actually work with one of your commissioners, Steve Talbert. Terrible guy. He's so mean. He hurts my feelings. No, I'm just kidding. We love Steve. So Steve.
Absolutely.
And I think that's huge that these county positions can have a relationship, especially when you guys work so closely together.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you already have kind of some people in positions to where when you do transition, we hope, into this position, not only is it going to be an easy transition, but the inner workings, I think it's going to be a bonus throughout the county, even in other offices. Am I wrong? Or
no, you really hit it exactly on the head right there. It's supposed to be collaborative, where everybody's supposed to be working together. And so, yes, everybody watches, make sure that nothing gets messed up or anything. The processes are done correctly. But you need to be able to work and communicate with each other. As treasurer, unless there's an emergency, I will go to each one of the BOCC meetings, which is the Board of County Commissioners that each county has here in Oklahoma. But I would make sure I'm there every week, to make sure that I could answer those questions or communicate effectively and tell everybody what's going on. Not just the commissioners, but our county clerk, our court clerk, they all go attend as well. We always have someone from the sheriff's department, so I can communicate those things to everybody.
Okay. Well, sounds to me like you got a pretty good support system already built in.
Osage County is wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Is there anything else you want to touch on that I might have missed?
I can't think of anything. I think you did a great job.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you want to take a minute and talk to the people that are going to be voting for you and just kind of tell them what you need to tell them, and then we will get out of here.
Okay. I'm, like I said, happy to be here today. And I am here to make sure that I create better systems for what's going on in our county government. I know that we can improve what we have. I want to make sure, like we were saying, transparency, but I want to make sure and bring everything to the people. I can make videos, kind of like you do here today. That's kind of what I've done the last couple of years. But I'm going to improve. Oh gosh, I'm messing up. Sorry.
You can't mess up. It's not a big deal. What you got? You want to improve?
I want to improve all of our functions. I have some ideas of where we are, where we can. I'm getting nervous.
So just so you know, to be fair to Shawna, she's usually on the other side of the camera doing the producing. She's not on this side of the camera. And she was like, well, I don't know if I want to do this. So I've kind of twisted her arm and put her in a position. So she's on camera kind of for the first time, which is kind of fun. But anyway, go ahead and pick up where you were leaving off.
Okay. Well, what I want to do is improve all of how we function and we work together. I know that there's things that legislatively that we can improve on our county. There's systems that they've done the last couple of years where they've created statutes that we are not utilizing now. We also need to have an up-to-date process with our investment policy is also something that we need to improve. There's a lot of things that I haven't really put together yet because how the process with campaigning is we wait until kind of after we file to put all of what we're putting out there yet. And that's still coming up in a couple weeks.
Maybe you could come back on after that.
I would love that. That would be wonderful if you'd have me back.
Yeah, and then we could maybe talk about your platform a little bit more and all the things that are going to be incorporated in it.
Wonderful. I have 5 things that I'm very excited to put out there, but I think it's still just a little too soon. So I'm trying to figure out how I can say without slipping it in there. But it's still, I think, just a little too soon.
No.
That's right.
Cat's not coming out of the bag.
Top secret.
But we will get to it next time.
That's right.
That's awesome.
I'd love that.
All right. So we got Shawna Myers, Osage County Treasurer, your lady. She seems to be buttoned up and on top of everything. She wants the job. She knows the job, and she's willing to be very transparent and let everybody know exactly what's going on. She sounds like she's easy to get a hold of. So if people do have questions or concerns, it doesn't look like she's going to be dodging anybody. And another thing that I like is she messed up on this interview, which means she's a real person. So we don't have polished, perfect politicians like everybody has with their little robots and their ties and their everything else. It's a real person. Shawna's real. She's a wife, a mother. She just wants to do good for her community. So I hope you guys at least give her enough leeway and grace to get to know her, talk to her, and then when she comes back on, listen to her platform, and then you can go from there. Fair enough?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
You're awesome.
I appreciate it.
Guys, thanks. I hope you enjoyed this quick interview. We will be getting back with Shawna again once she's ready to kind of roll out her whole plan and everything, her 5 points of making Osage County a little bit better. If you don't mind, if you want to join the Danny Shade Show, if you like the content, I definitely would love for you to share it. And follow us if you want. And if you can ever do anything and we can help you, come on the show and we'd be glad to do it.